Hello, everyone. Welcome to the King Leo Show. Can everyone hear me? That was the most annoying thing I've dealt with in such a long... that was terrible. That was the worst thing ever. I knew it was going to happen. Hey. Hello. Does that work? That makes sound? Let me see real quick here. Can everyone hear me? That was the most annoying thing I've dealt with in such a long... Let's see if this works. This is the most annoying thing I've dealt with. Perfect. All right. Let me see this here. J Boss, you can hear me. Thanks, man. Let me know. That was terrible. Let me see real quick here. Can everyone hear me? That was the most... Perfect. Wow. Oh my God. That was a pain in the ass, man. All right. All right. Welcome everyone to the King Leo Show. I feel like I know there's a meme of it of this guy yelling at Bill Gates. He's like, why my computer keep updating? Dude, that was so bad. It wasn't my fault at all. Some Windows update fucked me up. All right, perfect. We're back. Let me post this here. We'll go over time. Don't worry. We'll go 30 minutes over. Excellent. 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 Let me know if you can hear the clip, sir, please. And we'll see.
Shut up, man.
Man, listen.
You ain't got to say.
Listen.
God, bro, that was so bad. It took exclusive control or something. That's so bad. Wow, I hated that. All right, it seems like we're back. Seems like we're good. Let me make sure I add the video tags, and then we'll get started. Perfect. Dude, wow. I was never going to figure that out on here. I really wasn't. That was terrible. That was the worst thing I've been through in my life. I know exactly what Nelson Mandela felt like. Literally, I know exactly what he felt. That was the worst thing ever. Wow. So I had to go in, for anyone that's curious or whatever, I had to go into audio properties and I had to go to the speakers and I had to go to advanced. Then I had to uncheck this thing called allow applications to take exclusive control of this device. Why would that even be an option? Why did you reset my whole computer to have that? It's terrible. It's fucking terrible, man. All right. And there's no echo, right? I mean, we'll check again now, but 1 second, let me just get these up here. All right, so how's everyone doing tonight? I assume this is going to fuck up the flow of the whole show, but that's just how it goes, man. Whatever, we still do a show. The show goes on. The show goes on. Let's see this here. No echo. One more time, just to test.
Do you waterboard him? Do you sleep deprive him? Do you put him in a cold cell? Do you beat him? Do you put cockroaches on him? Do you put hummus up his ass?
That's how I felt with Windows. If there's no echo there, then we're good and we can go. The show must go on. Was there an echo there? All right. Excellent. Let's start the fucking show. We'll go all the way till 12:40. We'll go to 12:40. It's Friday. All right. All right. All right. Excellent. I'm very happy that happened. All right. Let's get the show started, man. Wow, we're overdue. Let's start over here. I want to play these proper OG chaps, man. This is very funny to see how the English reacted to. For anyone that's not aware, England was beat by Argentina in the footy, and it was a great game. It was a lot of fun to watch. Total Angloid destruction is my view personally, but I love them. I love the Anglo. It's fine. I don't want them to win at the footy because I like to see them sad. And they brought out a flag that said the Falklands are Argentinian. For anyone that's not aware, Argentina and England fought a war over the Falkland Islands in the 80s, and Thatcher beat them, and they're still salty about it, the Argentinians, and Chile helped. Let's see the reaction to this from the English. This is very funny here. Very, very funny.
I guess we can let the Argentinians just shout a bit. It's not going to change anything, is it?
Here's the thing. When you've got youth unemployment as high as it is in Argentina, when you've had inflation in triple figures, when you've had such difficulties, I mean, football's all they have. I like to think that we have some other things going on in our lives.
I bet, yeah.
You see the sort of victory parades down the centre of the cities and all the rest of it, and it's like, yeah, of course they can do big victory parades. None of these people have jobs. I mean, that's literally all they have in their lives is football. Well, I like to think that in Britain we've got some other things to celebrate as well.
Well, I still wish we'd won the match last night. Devastating.
The Anglo-seething is... What got me here is, first of all, it's getting really hard to tell who's gay and who's British. Just that. It's getting really hard to tell. But the seething here, the cope, it really does... What does England have to brag about? right now. Like, what do they have to brag about right now? They're talking about they have unemployment in Argentina. You live in England. England is not doing well either, economically, socially. What kind of cope is this? I've never seen. Wow, you're picking on. Imagine if England were actually doing worse in Argentina. That would be more of a story. Wow, you're better than the third world country run by half a criminal Italians. That's crazy, man. Wow, the levels of cope. The cope is. And you should really check out the British media. They're so mad about this. And I love it. I really do think they deserve to be destroyed like this because what do you have to brag about? What have you done? What have you done for me lately? They're the worst. I can't wait for Argentina to take them down. Speaking of that, I wanted to play this here. This is Winston Marshall, okay? I hate this guy. This is a guy who started Mumford & Sons. Mumford & Sons, for anyone that doesn't know, I don't know if we have any country music fans here. Country music is from hell, and I hate it, and I don't like to hear it, and I don't. If you like country music, you need to go to the church.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women.
And didn't you know that British people, they look like that after they stop being British? No, but look, if you like country music, I don't know what to tell you. It's bad. It's not good. There's some good stuff in there, but it's not. And I hate Winston Marshall because he introduced the banjo into millennial music. Okay. And now all the millennials love to play the banjo, and it makes no sense because millennials, they hate they used to hate the South. Now they don't hate the South anymore. He's just terrible. Okay, he's terrible. Everything he's done has pissed me off. I don't like this revamped country music crap. Okay, I'll listen to Johnny Cash. To how you doing? Yeah, George Strait is fine. I don't like any of this new country music. I think it's terrible. Anyway, whatever. That's just my taste. Then he wrote this book about how Antifa was bad and got fired from his band in 2016. Sorry, he read a book by Andy Go. Remember Andy Go? Where's Andy Go at? And now he's been grifting. I think he's married to Melissa Chen or something. And all he seems to talk about now is Israel. And never losing the opportunity to speak about Israel. This is his reaction.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say
to the Argentinians claiming the Falklands? Let's watch this here real quick.
Were mostly well behaved, and it was actually not a bad atmosphere, but they were certainly at the beginning of the game singing their Malvinas songs, what they call the Falklands, and now I don't know if you've seen this.
Just talking about it, the banner the players are holding. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm sort of sick of this, where it's basically the Argentinian version of Palestinianism.
We're gonna finish this. What are we talking about here? The Argentinian version of Palestinianism. Did Donald Trump succeed in making Palestinian a slur or something? Palestinianism. What are you talking about? What is the comparison here? Palestinianism. What? That's crazy. I haven't. Let's hear that one more time. And by the way, this is really why I like Simosian. I don't think he's here tonight. Simosian is so right when he says that woke means nothing anymore, because this guy is calling a beef over a territory woke Palestinianism. What? What are you talking about? Is it woke Palestinianism that Venezuela claims Guyana? Like, what are you talking about? What does this have to do with... Let's continue. This is crazy. I've never seen this used before. Palestinianism.
And they're all doing their politics. It's kind of a woke thing all over again. Remember, it's with BLM, they're taking the knee forever and all this trans stuff. It's all political, except... And this is...
The Falklands is trans and Black Lives Matter. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Same thing again. They're making it completely political. Obviously, those islands are not Argentinian. They're British, and it's not a bloody joke. A lot of British servicemen and Argentinians died in that war, an illegitimate war of conquest. They have absolutely no right to do it. And by the way, it wasn't just British boys and girls who were left fatherless by that war. Many Argentinians. I mean, what are they doing? What are they playing at? What is the vice president of that country doing, stoking like this and aggravating? It's just, I thought it was really gross. But anyway,
it is gross.
They didn't remember their white flag of surrender like last time. Don't remember they lost that war. And should it come to it, we would win again.
Yeah, I was just saying that as well. It's been a great adventure with you in this World Cup. I've seen you in many cities.
Ben, you've done a great.
This is right-wing grifting to a. I don't understand this. I think it is suspect that they're still the islands are still British. Why? You gave back Hong Kong, you gave back Mauritius, you gave back everything. So why would you even care about these islands? It is woke Black Lives Matter Palestinian trans for Argentina to have a territorial dispute with the British. I have a feeling this isn't going to work. I have a feeling this isn't the president of Argentina some retarded anarcho-capitalist. What is this? How you doing, Bruno? Bro, comparison to Sim fits in my... He's doing Russell Brand. Absolutely. Winston Marshall was, I swear, I think he saw the numbers and knew this band was not going to work out. Mumford & Sons had been like 15 years. And so he went into right-wing grift. But I don't know if it's something that's so bad that you end up watching it where you go, what else is he going to say? This is so fucking stupid that I want to stick around. So I honestly, maybe it's a good strategy. I don't know. Chile should tell Bolivia that it's left-wing, Black Lives Matter, trans if you want to get your land back from Chile because you lost the war. What is happening in the UK? These people need a UN fucking resolution to go into that country and set order. Your right-wing, they're all grifting except Academic Agent. Your left wing are all insane. And the right wing is insane. This is insane. It's an island of insane people. Who is left in the UK that is normal besides Academic Agent and he's half Iranian? Palestinianism. Okay, buddy. Okay. I want to start using that for other stuff. I understand why some viewers say that like it's ridiculous to talk about woke. Because so when you're in a fight with your wife, you're going to say, oh, you're being a woke Black Lives Matter transgender actually because you're not passing me the salt right now. What is this? I am amazed at this. I'm amazed at this grift. I don't know how the British right-wing ecosystem works, but the constant kissings, the who else is in there? Carl Benjamin to an extent. I used to give him a pass. I don't give him a pass anymore, man, because he's shilling Farage. I'm sure Winston Marshall is shilling Farage. Jeez, man. Let's continue. What else we got? This is the White House posting here today. How you doing, Audio Vibes? The White House posted here explaining. Eve says it wins every argument. It wins every argument. You're right. That's what they should do. It should be that. It should be. I'm going to start using that on everyone. You're being a Palestinian right now, actually. Actually, you're kind of being a Palestinian right now. Actually, Mr. Police Officer, by giving me a ticket, you're kind of being a Palestinian and you're kind of being woke and transgender right now. Maybe that'll work, right? Maybe that will. These people are fucking idiots, man. It's crazy. Let us watch the White House, the House Republicans, who posted this video today explaining to us how communism works. I'm very excited to be taught here.
Explained by ducks. One duck at the pond woke before dawn and found every worm. He grew strong while the others slept. The other ducks watched with angry eyes. This isn't fair, they cried. So they made a new law. Every single worm goes into the great shared pile. From now on, every duck eats exactly the same. No more, no less. At first the pile was huge. No one went hungry. The ducks cheered. But then the clever ducks stopped digging. Why work hard when the pile feeds us anyway? The pile grew smaller and smaller until it was almost gone. The pond needed a leader. They chose the big, strong goose. Soon the goose ruled everything. He shouted orders. He watched every beak. He decided who dug and who ate. Ducks who dug too little were called traitors and enemies. They were beaten and locked in dark cages by the water. Ducks who dared question the goose vanished in the night. The goose raised the digging quotas higher and higher, even as the worms disappeared. Winter came like a cruel shadow. The great pile was empty, nothing but frozen mud. The goose stood on a rock and screamed. The saboteurs did this. The complainers. The lazy ones. That night, the loudest complainers were dragged away and never seen again. Then the real horror began. Ducks chewed on dirty grass. Ducks ate their own feathers. Some ducks even ate each other. Ducks fell down in the mud and died with empty eyes. When spring finally arrived, the pond was deathly quiet. Barely any ducks remained, just skin and bones, shivering by the water. The goose stood tall and fat, still shouting about the glorious future, while the few survivors stared at the ground with dead eyes. The shared pond had become a graveyard, and the goose was still in charge.
First of all, hang on 1 second. Hang on.
Wait a minute.
This goose is awesome. Let's be clear. This goose, as far as portraits of Stalin go, this is awesome, actually. That is, you're right, but you left out another part of the story, actually. That's the thing. Because this goose is awesome. You go to duck jail, bitch. This is awesome. I love this goose. Thank you, goose. But the thing is that they left out the part where this goose defeated the most advanced military on the planet, used the American geese for all of their weapons, refused to pay down the debt of the previous czarist goose, took the geese into space. And yeah, some people had to go away, but sometimes you have to go to duck jail. Are there not any duck jails in America? Does that not happen? This goose is awesome. What I fail to see, I just see an incomplete story because I don't look at how cool he looks. Hang on, let's make this really big. Why would you make something this cool to say it's bad? Look at this goose. If I could vote for this goose versus these tiny little ducks, look at these ducks and then does this goose look like the goose of steel? Does this look like Goose Stalin? Gustalin? This looks like the goose of steel. These little ducks over here, they don't know what they want. They're stupid. Sometimes you need this guy here to tell you what to do. And I think that a lot of people, there's a lot of things we can learn here, right? I think a lot of people need to be treated this way now, right? If you're out here posting about, I don't know, what's a conservative? If you're posting here Dinesh D'Souza movies, you might need the big goose to do this to you. It's not going to kill you, but it'll teach you maybe a little bit of goose. I am in prison. I could see that. I know. You are in prison because you deserve to be there for sabotaging the grain. But regardless, you deserve to be in prison for not hitting the quota. You deserve to be in prison because Gustalin is the goose of steel and he gets to tell you what to do, okay? This is the dumbest thing I've seen in my... I love it. It's so good. Did you learn something here? Did you learn something great? Did you learn something? Amazing. Amazing. I love it. I love it. All right. All right. The House Republicans, man, really something. Let's check in over here. I think this is great. We have to see, this is Graham Plattner's potential replacement for the Maine governor's race, Maine senator's. Does it matter? Yeah, it actually did. That one actually did. Hold me to it. It was the Senate. Okay, that one mattered. Let's see who the Democrats are putting up for the Senate race. That Graham Plattner, who we went over before, was not good enough for, apparently.
And then with the trans community, like, we're being dehumanized. They say that we want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
I prefer really not to speak.
If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
No, don't say I hate everything. No. Okay. I'm not going to comment on Ashley Webb's appearance or any. I'm just wondering from a cynical political point of view, does Ashley Webb have a better chance at beating Graham Platt at winning this race versus Susan Collins than Graham Plattner did? Let's watch one more time.
And then with the trans community, like, we're being dehumanized. They say that we want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
I'm here so I won't get fined. 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 I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Moving on. Let's move on, right? Let's move on. Let's check in on what TPUSA is doing. We're not addressing. It's a question to Democrats. Do you think Ashley is more electable than Graham? I don't know. This is one of the 8 people they're considering. You know, it's not the front runner. They're considering them. Bruno says, I think she could have dressed more professionally since we're always analyzing fits. I won't comment on that. I have nothing to say about that. Nothing to say. Maybe. I'll leave that alone. Let's check in on the conservatives over here. I love the Democratic Party. Glory be to the Democratic Party. No, let's address. I can't address. No, come on. All right. Yes, the dress wasn't great. Let's continue. We're not talking about it. We're just gonna see how the race turns out for them. Okay, we'll follow along.
How based are you?
Oh, really based.
Really based? Like on what scale of based?
Like at a 0 to 10.
Yeah, like
100?
0 to 10.
0 to 10? I don't know, like a 9.9.
9.9 on the base scale. What about you? How based are you?
You know, I'm gonna say solid 9.
Solid 9 on the base scale. He's a little bit higher on the base scale.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Charlie's up there right now. Like,
That's right, run.
our young conservatives in the country. This is. How based are you? It's always funny because I remember when that was a thing, when it started based, probably like 6 years ago. And now TPUSA picks it up. Conservatives always 6, 10, 20, 30 years behind. And when they do it, it's never original. It's always cringe. I wonder what it means. Because I remember online, based implied things that were pretty extreme as far as American standards go. American conservative standards. I think they implied comfort with military dictatorships, comfort with socialist elements in the economy. What is based to a TPUSA person? Like, what is actually what they consider based? I'm very curious. All right, let's continue. Let's check in on Fox News, our wonderful, compassionate conservatives. Let's see what they're doing here really quick.
Do you know that you can't be sleeping here?
Yeah, I know.
So why are you doing it?
I'm not sleeping here.
Mayor.
Hey, I hate everything, bro. This is in your city, man. Explain this. Explain this.
Do you know that you can't be sleeping here?
Yeah, I know.
So why are you doing it?
I'm not sleeping here.
You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if there's any old heads here. You guys remember bum fights? when we were kids? When I was a kid, at least. You remember bum fight? That was crazy. I think that guy went to jail. I didn't like it. That's not my thing, but there were kids in my school that did like that. Fox News is doing bum fights now. They're just exploiting the homeless for entertainment. You know, it's pretty crazy because whenever you ask someone about how to resolve homelessness or why homeless people are in a certain situation, it's always best to ask a homeless person under a blanket. That is the best. You know what Fox News should do is put fake homeless people under blankets and they should recite like Thomas Sowell talking points. That would be great, actually. This is who can get interviewed for this. This is interviewing not just the Look, I've seen documentaries where you interview the homeless, right? But Fox News is doing soft white underbelly, but literally under a soft white underbelly of a blanket. Isn't that something? Amazing, sensational. Where is it?
Sensational.
I appreciate it. What humanity? Isn't it great what the news service does? Truly a Nietzsche news service. I had everything says, don't worry, the homeless advocates won't do anything. Well, Mamdani is kind of taking care of the homeless problem, man. Kind of is, whether you like it or not. All right, we're not pressed for time because I promise you we'll go over. So let's just move on to the next segment. We're going to go over time. We're going to get a full show in. Technology will not stop us.
The people are retarded.
I'm glad I Hate Everything is here because I found this. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. I Hate Everything. He is going to love this. He's going to goon all over the computer or the phone. I hope you're not in public, brother, because you are going to splooge all over the world. It's going to be a problem for you. Let's check in on the Zoran Brigade really quick.
It's giving like white saviorism a little bit. My name's Claire. I work for the city government. Ever since Mom Donnie got elected, the DSA has been moving very cult-like. It's gotten a little culty. And I'm saying this as a blue-haired DSA member. Very white, privileged people going into these communities of color and knocking on the doors and telling them, you need to vote for this person. I know what's best for you. And there were certain candidates that they did not need to be running against that were very progressive and actually from those communities. Zoran's not a god. He's a politician. Hold him accountable every step of the way. Don't idolize any politician, period.
That's crazy. I wonder if this is a plant. But, the blue hair dye. Did I tell you or did I tell? Isn't that there are breaks in the ranks of the Zoran supporters? That's Zoran, take care of this woman. Get her out of New York. Zoran, hit her. Zoran, hit her with the nuke.
Netanyahu, if you can hear me, drop a bomb on this building.
Zoran, this is your time to shine, man. This is your time to show the world that the DSA has an iron grip, that the DSA will take care of traitors, that the TSA will actually do things, that they... will you allow dissent in the Big Apple, Zoran? From your own ranks. I mean, this is what brought down the Spanish Republicans. It's time for you to really show force here. What do we do to her?
Do you waterboard him? Do you sleep deprive him? Do you put him in a cold cell? Do you beat him? Do you put cockroaches on him? Do you put hummus up his ass?
What do we do to her? No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. I'm just saying she needs to stop this, man. Dictator Zoran, I was told by Ben Shapiro that Dictator Zoran is going to make her wear the burqa and get female genital mutilation. And what else did he say? I don't know. That she's going to have to... I don't know. He said some stupid shit. Anyway, that's crazy. What's going on here? You can't do that. You can't just... this is what I hate about American democracy, is that Americans don't have any loyalty, okay? He's your guy. You voted for him. I actually kind of liked him for a bit, okay? But stick with your horse. You don't change bets halfway through the race. I hate this democracy thing where the voters, like Tucker, Donald Trump has betrayed me. I'm sorry. Can you please forgive me? No.
You can't just say sorry and make it all go away. It's too late. It's not that easy. It's not fair. It's not fucking fair.
You don't get to apologize to I Hate Everything for voting for Zoran. Stick with your man. Dude, if I had a country of Hillary Clintons, we would be in the best country ever. We really would. Stand by your man. Stand by him. I hate, Donald Trump betrayed me. Joe Biden betrayed me. Shut up. I don't vote. I get to say that kind of stuff because I don't vote. You vote. You made the choice. You should stick with your guy. You have no right to complain. I had everything shedding tears were like goon. Let a white sister is she white? Let me well, she says she's white, right? Let me see this.
Insider who left the social.
It's giving like white saviorism a little bit. My name's Claire. I work for the city.
Claire Collins. She looked a little Asian to me. Let a white woman. No, Greta's the only white woman allowed to speak. Only Greta. How dare you? I love Greta. I hate this American behavior, betraying at the drop of a hat, betraying everyone. Let's continue. Let's check in on, for lack of a better word, the grapes, man. Let's check in on the grapes. Let's check in on the slaves, the people of. Let's watch this here. Let's watch this. I hate this. I hate this so much. One second.
I spent my whole 20s trying to become successful, and now I have the career I thought I wanted, but I'm exhausted. I check my emails at dinner. I don't remember the last time I could sit still without feeling guilty. I think I want a poem about remembering how to be a person instead of a machine.
I would love to write that for you. May I read it for you?
Sure.
Somewhere along the way, we started believing our worth could be measured in promotions, in calendars, in unread messages. But the trees don't apologize for standing still in winter. The moon doesn't rush to become full. Maybe your life was never supposed to be a list of things you survived. Maybe it was supposed to be something you actually got to live.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
These fucking assholes! The fuck is their problem, man?
One of the frustrating things about growing up with No Child Left Behind and participation trophies is that no one can admit that things are not good. First of all, we have to talk about this. He's obviously trying to hit. That guy is not trying to get a poem. He's trying to pick this girl up, and he's dressed like shit. Hair is uneven. And no one wants to hear you cry like a little Rittenhouse.
Right.
Oh, dude, I don't understand this. You're choosing to be a slave. You are choosing. I need a poem to help me. Imagine if in slavery, that's how it was. Because this is how you know that. I often say, like this world is tough. Okay, it's not great. And not everyone deserves suffering. But sometimes some people deserve to be in this kind of situation, actually. Okay? A lot of the times people deserve it. A lot of times you look at people like this and you just get thoughts like,
technically,
According to the strict law of the Torah, not one Gentile in the world deserves to live.
What's wrong with you? I remember when men used to shut the fuck up. They used to not cry in public. When did everyone start crying in public like a bunch of babies? The Rittenhouse thing is like a joke, obviously, right? He's on trial for murder trying to get off. Of course you have to cry for the jury, right? And the second thing is that this poem is ass. Because we can't criticize anyone's art anymore. We're not allowed to criticize art. This is a bad poem. It's a bad poem. Just like every movie is bad, every new book is bad. It's a bad poem. You cannot write a good poem on a typewriter. Just because you write it on a typewriter on a street corner doesn't mean that you're good. Jack Kerouac wasn't good because he wrote on a Corona typewriter. He was good because he was a genius. And you're not. And we have to sit here and pay for this. Why? And people watch this and I'm sure they're she really changed his life. That man, you really need a Fight Club moment. If you actually feel that way, which you don't, by the way, if you're expressing this kind of manipulative, emotional slop and crying in public, you actually don't feel that depressed, okay? But if you did, what you need is that Fight Club scene, right? Where Brad Pitt takes that Asian guy to the back and he's like, tomorrow will be the best breakfast of whatever his name's life, you know? That's what you would actually need. A little poem. This guy tomorrow is going to get up. He's going to get on DoorDash, order slop, go back to work like a little guy. And he's just going to continue to live his life because he didn't learn anything. Because art sucks. And I don't feel bad for anyone who did this to themselves. I really don't. You're choosing to live like this. There are people in this country who don't work and they get by. They have children too and they get by. If you're crying, you literally, you are stuck in this situation because of you. If everyone, instead of crying, just quit their jobs, the country would be in crisis and wages would be increased. I promise you that would happen. But no, I'm just going to cry and then I'm going to get a poem and try to hit. Disgusting. Jay Buzz is not, that's not a poem. I don't know if that's a poem or not, dude. I'm not a poetry guy, okay? I know that you like poetry, you Portuguese, with your Camoas and all that shit. I haven't read El Cid. I have a Kamoa statue here with me, actually. I got that in Lisbon. Made of aluminum foil. I know you guys like Kamoas and all that. I don't read that shit. I don't like poems. But that's definitely not a poem. That's definitely not a good poem. Everything says, is this the woman that overcharged for poems? How much is the poem? What, does it say here? It doesn't say the price. I bet you this was $20. We should do this. We should find... Honestly, if we were smart, if we were an intelligent group of people here in this chat, maybe we could even do it. We would set up an agency where we would recruit girls that can't make the OnlyFans cut and set them up in street corners to write poems for people and make them charge $100 a poem. That would be big money, man. If we did that, we would make big money. Promise you. It kind of becomes pimping in some ways. But, you know, we just capitalize on simps and retards like this. J Boss says an emotional text organized in verses, not what a poem is. That's true. And everything says her poems are ass and overly expensive. Is this in New York? This is some New York shit, dude. I bet you this is in New York. It's some New York shit. How you doing, Gary? Let's continue. I wanted to play this here real quick. Let's check in over here on the liberal propaganda.
Just 3 days after murdering a father in the streets, they do it again in front of a fucking child. He was a 26-year-old husband and father of a little girl who had to look at his dead body bleeding out on the fucking ground. And of course, as per usual, he was not even the target of their operation, and he was legally allowed to work in the United States on his visa. They, of course, claimed that he weaponized his vehicle against them. Just take a look at the footage. Does that look like a fucking weapon to you? Does this look like any ICE agents were in danger? Well, this is what got him shot in the fucking head and killed on the street. And then they ripped his lifeless body out of his car, slammed him on the ground, and...
Does anyone know what she said? I have no idea what she said.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
What was she talking about? What?
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
I'm fucked if I know what we did.
I think that I see the flaw in my idea of the getting the news anchors to just be naked or something, because I literally have no idea what she's talking about. She's not even that attractive. It's just, I mean, it's a good, I don't know what she said. And I'm not being, what is it called, misogynistic or something? This is just, it's very distracting. I had everything says she looks something about Juan and something about ice, but the video looks I don't know. Is this the future? Is this what it's going to be like? Because, you know, there was some, what's her name? The leg woman from Fox, SE Cup. Like, there was always an SE Cup or something, right? So, this I don't get, though. The tattoos are crazy, man. That's crazy work. Crazy work. Crazy work. J-Box. No, listen, I'm not making... My favorite movie's directed by a woman, and it's Claire Denis, right? I'm not going to make this gendered. I just... Dude, if it were like a guy with his cock out and his abs, maybe he covers his cock with like a tiny strip of paper, you wouldn't be focusing either. Not because you're gay, but because you... Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand what this is. Is she trying to help? I don't know. Whatever. I can't tell if she's liberal or conservative. All right, let's continue. Whatever. This is stupid. This is stupid. All right. Do we get to the segments? Can we get to the segments? Yeah, I guess we get to the segment. Let's get to the segment. All right. Yeah, so we can do call-ins. First of all, let me open the phone lines. All right. We're going to talk about little Benny Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. How are you, Ben Shapiro? Great stuff here. We're going to talk about Ben Shapiro, man, because Ben Shapiro, all right, he hasn't had a good week, it seems, okay? We saw earlier in the week that J.D. Vance, fat boy, this ugly man, what is he calling himself these days, J.D. Vance? J.D. Bowman, J.D. Vance, who is he? You know, he went on Joe Rogan and he had some things to say. He had some things to say about Israel in particular, okay? So I want to play a couple of clips here from the Joe Rogan Experience that we didn't actually watch last time, just to give you a vibe here. And I actually have to find a meme here that I saw today about this, because you have to see what he said. Like, what was the vibe of J.D. Vance on here? Because we saw Ben Shapiro very angry about this.
And in some ways, Joe, the game is rigged.
Yes.
If you look at, I mean, again, I think so much of housing because, you know, this happened, I think it was during the presidential campaign, maybe it was right before. But I was talking to some family members over Thanksgiving, and, you know, just a sort of a younger friend of my wife's. They were like 5 or 6 years behind us. They were just about to get married. And this young woman, successful engineer, makes a higher salary than most Americans. She just sort of like tossed out there that, you know, when her parents' generation was coming up, it was like possible to own a house and to raise a family and not be worried that much about things. And my thought was, okay, you're an engineer. You make way more money than 75% of people your age, maybe 90% of people your age. And you think that it is like this ridiculous, unachievable objective to have literally what your parents had, which is a decent job, a nice.
You can tell that JD is an uninformed crack baby. Okay, and the reason you can is there's a whole book written about this. Engineers have not made money for like 50 years. If you study engineering, if you become an engineer, have you met an engineer? No engineer works in engineering, except for very few exceptions. There is a reason that most of the terrorists that were involved in Islamist or jihadist movements, a lot of them were engineers. There's a whole book written about it called Engineering Jihad. Muhammad Atta, I believe, was an engineer that studied in Germany. Engineering does not pay well. There is no need for engineers anymore outside of niche places. Okay? And you know how you can tell? Because that bridge that fell in Baltimore hasn't been rebuilt. It's been like 3 years. An engineer needs to be working on bridges. No one's doing that. This is how you can tell that JD is like a law guy. Engineers don't, I swear, man, if you meet an engineer, they're going to be working in sales. They're going to be working in a lot of them in computer science, which is not engineering. Network architecture, not engineering. Engineers do not make money. Also, I would add here that JD Vance is the same guy who said that women were childless cat ladies or whatever. And now he's talking here about a female engineer. JD, how did you even meet her? I'm curious. Because you seem to have this contempt for working women, especially one that's an engineer. You are complete. This is how you know people are out of touch, man. And you don't have to know an engineer, but really think about it. Engineering is not a prestigious place to be anymore, unfortunately. It's not fair. Kanye was trying to fix this, by the way. Kanye West was telling people he wanted people to learn engineering, but that would require deregulation. That would require us to actually use engineering. But we don't. So I'm not surprised that they don't make money. Gary, that's a good point. In China, they use engineers. Absolutely. In the West, maybe in Europe for niche architecture maintenance. Even when you have, even that's not engineering. It's like architecture, which is another field that has gone the way of the dodo, because architecture is just CAD. That's what it is. The only people who value engineering are the Chinese, possibly the Japanese. He's full of shit. How you doing, Samojan? How you doing, Robbie? Demon Rats, brother, Robbie. They're killing me on Facebook, man. They're killing me on Facebook. I'm getting so many death threats. Let's continue. Let's keep watching this fat idiot.
His house in a safe place. Like at literally that same dinner, like another friend of my wife's was talking about this, and he, South Indian family, grew up, his parents immigrated. He was born and raised in San Diego, and he was like, when I was growing up in Oceanside, this is like a suburb of San Diego where a lot of Marines live in Oceanside. It's close to Camp Pendleton. So when I was growing up, all of my, like the kids that I played with, that I rode bikes with, that I was, playing street hockey with and football with, all of those kids were the sons of enlisted Marines in Oceanside, California. And then we went and looked at like Oceanside, California rents. Again, this is a couple years ago, rents and housing prices. Like every house was north of $1 million on the street this guy grew up in. And enlisted Marine, frankly, most Marine officers could not afford to buy $1 million house. So like, does the socialism thing scare me? Yes. Is it the wrong solution? Yes. But one thing I try to persuade my fellow Republicans of is socialism is the alternative if we don't have a pathway to give people a sense that the system is not rigged and that the American dream is attainable. That's like our job. That's what we have to do. I'm not saying Rome was built in a day. It's not going to be easy to undo some of these economic trends. But man, we ran the experiment. We ran the experiment of offshoring all of our industrial jobs, of becoming a services and finance economy, and allowing Wall Street to come in and buy every asset of modern life and turn it into an investable, line goes up asset. And what has that done? It's created a generation of kids who kind of are attracted to socialism. You have to fix that problem.
You're the fucking vice president. Aren't you? If you say you want to fix the problem, don't you have the full authority to fix it? I don't understand. It's really Baudrillardian, man, where obviously part of it he's campaigning, but he's in the administration. He releases a book. He promotes it everywhere. And then he goes on the Joe Rogan podcast. You have an opportunity to do something. Why are you complaining to me? Why to me? All you do is cry like a little baby. Why are you telling me through the Joe Rogan Experience? Samojan says, yes, because we have had trickle-down economics for 50 years now, and life has gotten worse. Except for Bush the father, who's my favorite president of the past 50 years, by the way. I think that's how I really feel. I think I do love Bush the father. I think he was a great president. Truly underrated guy. You know, he wasn't a Baudrillardian wizard or anything, but he was a great guy. I really liked him. Master of the universe. But I don't get it, man. When are these people going to stop fucking crying like babies and do something? Let's continue. What else did he have to say on the Joe Rogan podcast here? This is about immigration. When we do that, I'm going to pull something up over here.
One of the reasons why I'm such an immigration hawk is because it is really important not to flood the country with low-wage immigrants. Right. Because if you give a corporation a choice between a low-wage immigrant and a native worker who's going to require, by the way, a native worker of any race, they're going to be forced to pay the native worker more if there's not a pool of low-wage workers to go to. And this is like a consistent finding in the economics literature, but also just common sense, that when you flood the country with low-wage immigrants, this is why I think the DSA types are a little full of shit when they talk about helping normal people. If you want to help a normal person, don't provide a corporation 9 low-wage migrants to compete against them when they're bargaining for wages. You actually give workers more power when you have a more restricted immigration policy. One of the reasons why I'm such an immigration hawk.
I really, and I'm struggling to be empathetic here, just because I understand we have right wingers here, and that's fine. Nothing against you guys. Can someone please explain to me how quantitative easing is not the reason that wages have collapsed, and it's actually immigration? Now, I'm not saying immigration doesn't play a role, but I'm just saying, how can you tell me that this is really, I really feel here, look, you can oppose immigration. This is what I don't like, is that stand on some shit, bro. Like, have some principles, have your balls, okay? If you don't like immigration because you want your country to be a certain demographic, say that. I will respect it, actually. I will respect it. But what you're doing here is selling a bunch of bullshit that I don't believe. I don't think that immigrants are the reason that wages have gone down. And if the wages have gone down because of access to this cheap labor, which is illegal, then why don't you punish the employers? This is really, not to get too Marxist here, and I'm not saying that the immigrants should stay, okay? I'm not saying they should stay. I'm just, remove that from the equation, okay? I'm not saying where they should stay or they should go. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, though, is even with them here, the reason wages are low, I don't think it's them. I think it's the employers. I think it's quantitative easing. I think it's the central bank. And you are getting to be, oh, look at those people over there. They did this to you. I don't think they did it to you, man. I think Juan is just fucking selling tacos in Los Angeles. I truly do. I'm sorry. I don't see it. And this strikes me as a huge distraction from the actual issues that are causing. The dollar has depreciated consistently since 1971. The price of energy has continually gone up. The housing market collapsed because of easy money from the Iraq war led to mass money printing we're still living with today. And we're going to say it's this? I think that if I were a doctor, I would be looking at other things too. Samoja says, no, we don't. This is so dumb, so dumb. They would just pay them what the low wage cost is. They will just hide it behind, you just have to tip for everything. Well, no, but I don't know if Samoja, I don't know if you mean, obviously, like, there are illegals that take low wages, right? Because I know them. You know, I know some illegals that have done that. A lot of them have left Florida, but there are people who will work like $5 an hour under the table. That shit is crazy. But again, I blame the employer, right? Like I do blame the employer. Why would I blame the guy? Do you blame the thief for stealing, or do you blame yourself for not locking up your store? J-Boss says, why don't you punish the employers? We know the answer to that. Employers can simply call up the president and say, that be bad. And then president says, I'm okay. And that's it. I agree. So why does anyone fall for this? This is clearly a diversion technique, attack. I don't know how this is convincing. I really don't understand how it's convincing to anyone. Okay. Speaking of, we have to talk about the most sensitive portions here. Keep it in the back of your mind. Okay. This is what JD Vance had to say about our relationship with Israel. Okay, this is the clip that went viral from it, okay? But then we're going to watch it in context too, but this is the one that people have been passing around.
Do you think that Israel is affecting American political judgment?
I mean...
Do you think that...
Okay, that's the clip. Let's watch the full thing.
I mean...
Okay? Let's hear him here talk about Israel, all right? Let's listen to this. JD Vance is one of the most disliked people by the pro-Israel side to a pretty strong degree, which is odd that he's a vice president.
But I definitely think you have seen this very discreet, extremely well-funded campaign to try to derail the negotiation and try to derail the deal. And, you know, there's this Time article that came out yesterday. A friend sent it to me. It's like worth reading because it lists a bunch of people who have quite literally been paid by a former Trump campaign person who was himself paid by certain elements within the Israeli government. And those people are attacking me viciously for quite literally trying to accomplish the negotiation objective that the president set for the country. So
what is their position? Like, they're attacking you how?
Oh, it's social media posts. It's, you know, they're leaking to reporters. They're attacking me obsessively, saying that we should not be negotiating with Iran. We should just keep the military campaign going indefinitely. And that is their explicit position. And coming after me saying that, you know, people have come after me and said I'm influenced by Qatar, that I'm influenced by foreign governments, that, you know, I take my marching orders from Tucker Carlson. And there's just so much bullshit out there when what I'm actually trying to do is accomplish what the President of the United States told me to accomplish, which is a settlement of this that accomplishes our objectives. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. We have the free flow of oil and gas. And like, I should be clear, you know, like, I don't actually mind. I don't mind that the, you know, let's say certain elements of the Israeli government want to criticize the deal or have disagreements about the deal. I don't even mind an effort to try to...
Whoa, thank you for the gifted membership, Simosian. Very generous, sir. Very generous. Thank you so much. Simosian says, so let's finish the thought exercise. Hang on, we'll do this after that because now we're getting into like borderline Talmudic studies. All right?
Influence. You know, foreign governments try to influence the United States all the time. You know, Israel does it. Other countries do it. It's just sort of the nature of the beast. What bothers me is actually when Americans allow, meaning American leadership, allows that influence to affect their judgment and to affect what they are advocating for. That's what really bothers me. People are always going to try to influence the United States of America, whether they're allies of ours or whether they're enemies of ours. But again, when I open up the pages of Time magazine and I see that there's a literal foreign influence campaign being funded to tank the very deal that I was pursuing, and oh, by the way, many of the people who were receiving that money were actually attacking me in completely dishonest ways, you know, my response to that is, well, go to hell. I'm going to do what I have to do for the American people. I represent Americans first.
So, again, a lot of people took offense to this. We're going to see Ben Shapiro crying like a baby about this. You haven't even solved the Iran problem. You haven't done anything. Oh my God. All they do is talk, man. I don't even know who the audience is for this anymore. He's just talking nonsense. Talk. Oh, the pro-Israel people hate me. Okay, because I want to do peace with Iran. Then do it. That's the job Donald Trump gave me, to go get peace with Iran. Then do the job. Then why are you complaining? I don't understand this. We live in a podcast-occupied government. Pog. This is Pog. Why are you talking to me? You're the vice president, and you're complaining to me. What am I supposed to do about it? Jesus.
Just woke up in a fucking steaming mood, yeah? Because I live in a shithole!
I hate this. I hate this so much. Samojan says, so, let's finish the thought exercise. If the person didn't secure his store, but he was trying to feed his family who was starving, who do you blame then? What do you mean? The person who breaks in? Oh, you mean like the thief? I'm not taking that in conjunction with the real life thing because I don't like to, especially as Latin American descent. Latin America is not a shithole like most people say. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, Samojan. They actually need people there, so I'm not going to excuse a Guatemalan who wants to come here. I understand why, and I'm not going to try to stop him, and I understand why the Cantillon effect, that one, but these countries, you're not going to starve in Guatemala. You're going to have a pretty good life. Guatemala's cool. But let's consider this. I don't know. I haven't done Talmudic studies, but there is something to this. If someone breaks into your store to feed their family, who do you blame? I think you still blame the shopkeeper. It's the shopkeeper's fault because he should have had his store locked up, right? I don't think the motivation of the criminal breaks it in, right? You know? Eve says he wants to hear a call out with expertise in the Fed. All right. See, that'd be interesting. All right. Let's continue, okay? Now, this happened after, okay? Yeah, Samoja, I think that's how I would see it. Just, it's your fault. If you don't lock your store up, I'm going to blame you. Now, we'll still file a police report and we'll use the insurance company. But if you get robbed because you didn't lock your car or something, that's on you. You're a fucking idiot. Maybe I'm just a little bit too third world, but that's how I think about it, okay? Let's continue here. This here was Carolyn Levitt. Carolyn Levitt, I don't know why Twitter keeps doing that, addressing J.D. Vance, saying that people have bought off American politicians or foreign lobbies, right?
One more on Iran. The Vice President, J.D. Vance, went on this podcast with Joe Rogan yesterday, talked about Israel, in which he said that there are some people within their system that we know beyond a shadow of a doubt who are manipulating and trying to change American public opinion to keep the war going on indefinitely. Does the president agree with that statement?
I think the president would certainly agree that, yes, foreign countries certainly do try to persuade American public opinion. There's no doubt about that. I think it's just a basic fact.
Right. And I think this is why I saw that Nick Fuentes was pretty hard line on JD and he was like, I'm not satisfied with what you had to say, right? Yeah, obviously foreign countries are going to influence American policy. I think that's pretty obvious. He didn't say anything. I tried to listen to that Joe Rogan JD podcast. He has said everything about his life. There's nothing that we don't know already, right? And whenever he talks, you can really tell he's a lawyer because he doesn't say fucking anything. He says nothing. It's just talk. He should be a professor. That's how professors are. They just talk. And so he made it really easy because the White House has nothing to deny. Yeah, that's true, man. The foreign countries influence America all the time. And that's true. That is actually true. J Boss says, JD barely said anything. I can't believe we're about to hear Shapiro cry about Shapiro's going to be great here, man, because this is a saga here. Just your thoughts. There's no right or wrong answer, says Emotion. I'm kind of a Nietzschean when it comes to this morality questions, personally, man, you know? But so I wanted to start back here, all right? This is when J.D. Vance recommended the Theo Von podcast, and I totally agree with Ben Shapiro here to an extent, that the Theo Von podcast is retarded and shouldn't be. I don't know. Is it fun? I don't listen to the Theo Von podcast. I don't listen to any Rogan Sphere podcast, right? I don't really listen to podcasts anymore. I think we have enough podcasts, to quote Michael Tracy. I think there's enough. I think it's like porno, right? Why are they still making any? We have enough for 1 billion years, actually. We have a whole... How many episodes of Joe Rogan are there? 3,000? There will be children 20 years from now listening to Joe Rogan Experience, episode 34, okay? Anyway, but here's Shapiro freaking out because Theo Von, I don't know what his end game is. We saw him here last year when he came out crying like a child because of Charlie Kirk. But and there's nothing wrong with crying about Charlie. I mean, I think it's pretty gay, to be honest, to be crying. I don't like when men cry. And I'm not doing some macho thing. I don't like it. Does anyone here like seeing men cry? I only cry if I am in intense physical pain or if I have been hit in the nose. All these podcasters do is fucking cry. I saw Joe Rogan crying with Jelly Roll, that obese idiots watching some guy sing. Okay? Men used to not cry. Props to Ben Shapiro, actually, for being one of the few podcasters that's just a plain sociopath and doesn't cry. Anyway, yeah, Theo Von came out there crying about Charlie Kirk. I'm scared, y'all. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I don't even know what to do. That was literally what he said. He didn't say anything of substance, and he got tens of thousands of views, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions. And he's talked about how Israel is evil or whatever. So I guess Ben Shapiro hates him because of that. Because Ben Shapiro, pretty much doesn't know who Ben Shapiro is. Ben Shapiro loves Israel. I think that goes without. I think everyone knows at this point. That's like what Ben Shapiro cares about is Israel. That's his prerogative. That's what he likes, right? So here he is freaking out. This was way earlier, man. I think this might have been earlier this year when JD Vance recommended the Theo Von podcast. Okay, because we're doing a little saga here.
And Theo Von is basically just a Bernie Sanders leftist who does not like the censorious impulses of the left and engages in all the same conspiracy theories and, of course, is good friends with Candace Owens and all the rest of it. And that's the guy that the vice president thinks that everybody should listen to. Now, listen, maybe the vice president thinks he has to kiss Theo Von's half-retarded ass in order to keep him in the coalition. And that's his political calculation. I think it's a bad political calculation. There's no politician who is fully capable of just picking up a prior president's coalition and then just carrying it forward. It didn't work for Hillary Clinton with Barack Obama. It's not going to work for JD Vance with Donald Trump. Just because Theo Von and Joe Rogan back Trump doesn't mean that they're going to get behind Donald Trump. They're going to get behind JD Vance. The reality is that the vice president's current coalitional strategy, I think, is deeply flawed. It is hard for me to see how he doesn't shrink President Trump's coalition across the board. But that's a political calculation. Maybe his is better than mine. It is certainly not a moral calculation.
Moral. We're going to go with moral, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, we're going to cry about morality. Ben Shapiro, who built his career on exploiting college students, retarded college students, literally stupid college students. That's how he built his career, debating them. That lives on the internet permanently. You don't think that we're going to talk about morality here? Okay, whatever. Let's just focus on the other thing. We read between the lines. Ben Shapiro hates Theo Von and he hates the JD Vance associates with him. He says it's about economic policy, and that's possibly true. I mean, Ben Shapiro loves capitalism, right? Ben Shapiro, is Ben Shapiro a libertarian? What is Ben Shapiro? I'm not being thick here. Oh, that got a little British there. Is Ben Shapiro libertarian? Does Ben Shapiro think that we should be buying and selling children and all this stuff? Like, what does Ben Shapiro actually believe? What am I asking you guys for? One second, let me ask here. What is Ben Shapiro? Does Ben Shapiro... Close this here. Is Ben Shapiro like an anarcho-capitalist or something? Is Ben Shapiro like an anarcho-capitalist or a libertarian? What? He's not an anarcho-capitalist. Minimal government intervention in the economy, massive tax cuts and slashing government regulations, free market capitalism, and a deep skepticism of federal safety social nets. Hey, this sounds just like J-Boss. Dude, J-Boss, do you like Ben Shapiro? This sounds like literally you, man. This is exactly what you tell me all the time. This sounds like J-Boss. Wow, crazy. Where he breaks from libertarians. He opposes abortion, same-sex marriage, and the legalization of recreational drugs. Okay, whatever. All right, so yeah, Ben Shapiro is a... I guess he cares about the economy nominally, right? I don't fucking know. But anyway, he just... Okay, he cries about the economy. Just... I can't stand listening to JD Vance or Ben Shapiro. It has me crying, man. I'm actually starting to get angry. I don't want to finish this. If anyone wants to call in, like start calling now. I don't want to watch Ben Shapiro or JD Vance. We're going to finish this because I'm a trooper and I'm doing this show for you and I hate myself. I hate this right now. I hate this so much. I'm not enjoying this right now. If anyone wants to call in to fight about this, I really don't like this. And I know that it, like, oh, poor KL, like I'm doing it for you. I hate this right now. I don't like to listen to ugly, stupid freaks. They're both ugly freaks. Anyway, let's get through this speed run. I'm skipping the chats. I'm going to speed run this because I can't fucking stand these people, okay? This is the latest. Here he's talking about JD Vance and how evil he is. Let's just watch this.
Not like a Republican who sounds like a Democrat. I don't want a socialistic big government. I don't want economic policies that could come straight from Bernie Sanders. I don't want a foreign policy that sounds like Ro Khanna or a conspiratorial view of the American meritocracy that reads like Zohran Mamdani. I don't think if a Republican takes those positions, he's likely to win either. So why am I worried about that? Well, because yesterday I watched Vice President JD Vance on Joe Rogan's show. Let's just say I have some concerns. I'll explain in a moment. This is the Ben Shapiro Show. Joe Rogan's show. And as always, the VP is charming and he's articulate. I've met him. And the vice president is a very nice person. He's genial. He's funny. Obviously super talented. You don't end up vice president of the United States in your early 40s without being a very talented person. Usha, his wife, is a delightful person. But now it's time to get down to brass tacks.
Someone's calling in. Thank God. Hello?
Yes, I'll say some discussion of Ben Shapiro. Please stop.
I can't get through this. This is so bad. It's so bad. I don't know who watches this, man. I can't fucking stand it.
Dude. Oh, dude. So, like, we talked a little bit last night after the stream, and I was going through my memories of how this all happened. And to be honest, I think, not to be too, like, conspiracy minded, I think Steven Crowder really set the path for why Trump won in 2016, because he was like the first funny conservative that was really like a conservative who actually was kind of funny. And then he made major inroads there. And he literally started the whole, like, let me go to colleges and debate, college students as a 30-year-old man. He literally started that. That wasn't Charlie Kirk. That was Steven Crowder back in 2013, 2012. He started all that.
I have to tell you, I kind of, with time, and I know this isn't fair, I blame the students at this point because I never went to these type of events. I don't know why they gave this guy, because I remember, you're right, Steven Crowder did it that way, and Ben Shapiro, if I recall, he wasn't funny, but he was memed a lot into seeming like he was funny. And it seems like that helped his career. And these college kids should not have talked to him because now we still have to listen to this guy somehow. For some reason, we still have to listen to him.
Yes. Yeah. Side note, CCTV, I am not Canadian. I was born in Billings, Montana. So go fuck yourself. Side note, so I think, like, that was whole Ben Shapiro's thing. It was that he was the facts don't care about your feelings. It was like, hey, dude, I'm just going to tell you the truth and you just accept it. And that was kind of novel at the time. It was kind of like a conservative being like, and he would argue with a lot of the conservative base to be a little bit there. To a certain point, he was fairly controversial for a little bit there. But as soon as Trump got in and all that, I don't really remember like 2016 to 2019, to be honest. I was deployed through most of it, so I can't tell you enough there. But I can tell you, like, I came back after my deployments, got into COVID, and like both of them were not the same. Like, I feel like most of the conservative media, like, actually had that, like, small resistance feel, like the rebellion fight against the empire, against the blues. And after that, like, they got into power and they thought we're the resistance fighting against the blues. And I was like,
The odd thing about the landscape now is that I even feel useless covering this story because Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire, it's not going to go out of business because he has big friends with money, right? And that's fine. Like CBS had with Barry Weiss. That happens in the media. And I'm not, for anyone here, don't get clever. I'm saying that happens in media in general. United Artists was saved. It's not because of whatever ethnicity. I know that they're going to want to say that. Anyway, but clearly
it's not even just an ethnicity. Like, why do we have to even bother doing disclaimers about this? Bro, you were a public figure for the last 15 years.
Exactly.
You were once a major company. You had, at one point, probably almost $1 billion, and you literally wasted your empire. Your empire now is down to, like, I literally cut, like, for the best people, I'm literally having to pay this black child to do $800 a video because I have no money.
But so that's my question is, since you know how Daily Wire is doing, who cares? Like, who is actually listening to Ben Shapiro say, I don't like JD Vance? Like, who's this message for? Does it even matter? Does he have
for nobody? It's literally like Ben Shapiro. I guarantee you in 4 years, Ben Shapiro will be gone. In 4 years, he might have like 1,000 viewers if he's lucky. He's gone. His media empire is done. It's crumbling. It's all gone. He lost Brett Cooper. Cooper went on with the guy who's the guy carrying things. Have you ever seen one of his YouTube shorts?
Michael, no, not Michael. Matt Walsh.
No.
Matt Walsh.
No, not Matt Walsh. A man carrying things. He does YouTube shorts, TikTok stuff. Yeah, so he went on that she went on that. Sorry, Brett. Like my first name is Brett, so I get a little confused.
Okay.
Brett Cooper, who they fired and then hired a nobody to fulfill the slot and lost literally hundreds of thousands of viewers over, went on a YouTube channel with Men Carrying Thing, who does YouTube shorts and stuff, with their drag queen and discussed, actual politics. And that's what the company that Ben Shapiro was trying to form was. It wasn't meant to be a solely conservative focus. It was meant to be maybe this middle ground that reached out to the little bit of the left, got viewers. And yet now he doesn't even have that. No one cares what Ben Shapiro's angry eyebrows should do.
I will say, even if people cared, what I don't understand here is that I remember, and I'm not saying this, whatever, we're not doing disclaimers. Ben Shapiro, I seem to recall in 2024 when Trump was elected, and for anyone that's not here or something, or someone who's, I don't know, retarded, in America, you elect the vice president and the president the same day. I think we know that, right? That's how it works. He said when JD Vance and Donald Trump were elected, and I quote, "This is a new Jewish holiday." Now, Ben Shapiro is Jewish. That would be like if I said this is a new Catholic holiday that President Trump won. That's a big statement, if that's your religion, your faith. And you could say, oh, it's a joke, it's in passing. He knew what he was buying. He knew JD Vance was there. Like, did JD Vance become this guy now and he's noticing now? You said it was worthy of including with Yom Kippur and Hanukkah. And now you're going to sit here and bitch to me about this? You voted for him.
You don't even know if he was saying that about JD Vance. Honestly, I think he might have been saying it about Trump. I mean, I read it's right now, blowing up civilian bridges, which are war crimes, blowing up power infrastructure, which are war crimes. Like, we still have any rules still more. Like, everything I thought I learned in the military for the last 18 years, we can't attack civilian villages or the power infrastructure in Iran and Afghanistan because that might hurt the civilians. Yeah, blow up power stations, so they blow up bridges. Who cares? Like, the problem is ultimately I don't want to make this about Iran because this is all a different subject, but I just don't think Ben Shapiro knows what he's talking about. And I think that he thought he gained a big ally in Trump, and I think this big ally did what it did. I think they wanted them to do what the Zionist nation wanted them to do, and yet it's backfiring because they don't understand the simple concept that the 300 Spartans learned. You go into a small path with limited geographical locations and you block off everything. You cannot stop it. You don't need a lot of military power to stop a small path. And you have 30 miles, and they have about 20 miles of way to get through the Strait of Hormuz. So what does it take to blow up something? Literally nothing in this day and age.
But what I don't even understand what he wants. I mean, since you're ex-military, what are we supposed to be nuking Tehran? Because I look at this and I'm not a Zionist. I'm not an anti-Zionist. This isn't my issue. But I'm just going, isn't your enemy weakened enough that they can't rebuild? I was told by J.D. Vance that they can't make a bomb anymore, that they're back in the Stone Age. What else do you want? I don't even understand what you want. What do you want?
It's just lies, man. They can't blow it up. Remember, this is a massive nation. This is literally probably the size of the southern half of America, literally from Florida to Texas, that size. And so you're like, hey, we're bombing them with missiles that might blow up 2 or 3 buildings. Okay, you're bombing them, but you killed their leader. They just had a big funeral for him. 66% of the nation came out of their political party that was elected by their people, through whatever means you think is acceptable or not, came out and said, we will fight to the death. And then you go back and you look, and it's like, okay, you have, in terms of D-Day, there was less than maybe 100 square kilometers. Probably, I think that equals like maybe 50 or something, maybe 60 miles. And that took, what was it, nearly 500,000 men to take from 3 or 4 nations working together to accomplish that. It's still smaller than Operation Torch to rescue Africa and force out Germany from the Italians.
Let me interrupt you here just because, okay, so these are, I understand this. So the tactic, can you tell me, let's suppose everything that they've said is true or whatever. What more does Ben Shapiro want? Like, let's suppose what they said is true. What more would Ben Shapiro want out of this?
He wants them to nuke Iran. End of the day, that's what it's going to take. They want them to unleash nuclear Armageddon and kill 90 million people. Let's think of that cost. So when we did the 2 bombs over Japan, we killed 400,000 and 300,000. You're asking us to kill 90 million people.
That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Is that acceptable? Like life loss. That as an American, you would be like, yeah, I would accept that we killed 90 million people to free a strait that was free before we engaged in war. Is that acceptable cost in human life?
The only people I've heard who say something like this, where I have some friends who are Saudi, they wanted to do this like 10 years ago when we were at school together. Like, dude, I just want to nuke the shit out of. And I get it, like they hate each other. This is crazy. Though. You want America to do it? There's no way America's gonna use nukes and kill everyone. Crazy.
Yeah, like that's how the only way we can win this. I hate to break it to everyone here. That all they have to do is control about 20 square kilometers of sea in a small path, and they could do it literally with rocket launchers. They could literally hide in the hills there and pop out with a rocket launcher and scare the ships. They don't need anything more than that. So the only way you're going to stop them is if you literally nuke their entire country. And if you're like, yeah, that's acceptable to me. 90 million deaths on our head. That's acceptable. Like, at that point, it's like, okay.
Do you believe that
We
J.D.
blame
Vance...
Germany for killing how many millions? We blame the Russians for killing how many millions? We blame the Chinese for killing how many millions? If you want to add that to America for, quote, quote, freedom, like 90 million deaths on our heads.
But hang on, because so if Ben Shapiro is attacking J.D. Vance here like this, then that means that J.D. Vance, he perceives that he holds significant influence from achieving that goal, right? Do you sincerely believe, because I don't believe this at all. I think J.D. Vance is this fucking sociopath who doesn't believe in anything. Do you believe that he's actually like, we can't be nuking Iran? Like, he's the reason that we're not doing this? Because that's the way Ben Shapiro is painting it out to be.
So I think J.D. Vance is interesting because I don't think he holds the same points that Trump does. So what I think Ben Shapiro is fighting against is he's fighting against J.D. Vance, who's trying to be the 2028 candidate. He's unlike Kamala. Kamala didn't distance herself from Biden at all. J.D. Vance is as far as he can for Trump and being like, I don't really support him, but he's doing it in literally the dumbest way you can. He's not like directly going against them. He's like, yeah, if I had my way to do this, I wouldn't do it that way. And this is like, okay, bro, we all see what you're trying to do. So Ben Shapiro, he's the Zionist here. He wants Israel to win and be the dominant power in the Middle East. And unfortunately, bro, that's just not going to happen. Really what's happening is we're killing all our influence in the Middle East as all of the bases in the Gulf countries that we have are getting bombed to shit. And then you have Iran over here just being like, yeah, we'll just stop 20% of the global fuel from going out here. And then we're going to activate the Houthis, who are our allies, to stop anyone who wants to try to go around us in the Red Sea. And whether they win or not, they can probably stop another 2 months. And then Trump came out, like, dude, Trump pisses me off so much. He literally came out in the conference and was like, oh, yeah, the world has about 4 weeks of stocked oil.
Right.
Like, why would you say this? We can't recover the oil during the peace. We're literally trying to fill a hole and fill with oil that was left there. And now that the peace is gone, the hole isn't filled, man. like I don't like in game terms, you're at a negative and then you went to flatlined for 3 weeks and now you're back in the hole. You didn't get any resources. They still have 4 weeks and that timer is counting day by the day. Oil will skyrocket in 2 months. I guarantee you, by September, we are going to be looking at $6 a barrel, or $6 a gallon. Yep, but almost guaranteed.
I would agree with you, but I thought that was going to happen earlier, and then we've been ping-ponging between, at least in my area, $3.59 and $4 for the past couple of months, and I'm just here like, I thought we were going to get $6 already, and because in theory we should be out already because the tankers take forever to get here. But
no, they're draining the strategic reserves. So we actually do like regardless of the price of oil or gasoline during COVID, they actually stocked up the Federal Reserves because the actual price of barrels was down. It was only the price of the pump that was up because they were charging us. The companies were charging us bullshit to fill up. But the price of a crude barrel of oil was actually super cheap. So
my understanding though was that Biden had emptied it in the 4 years at some point, and then
no, he started to empty it near 2022 and 2023, but he built it up back through 2024.
Okay.
Or 2021, 22, and then built it back up. So and again, this isn't just America. We got to think about the world here. Like, crude oil isn't just something America spends. It's a world economy. And everyone else in the world actually built up stockpiles of oil and their strategic reserves during COVID. America was one of the few countries that didn't. And so we actually had very high stockpiles. Probably the most the world's ever seen, to be honest. And now they've gone down since the start of the war. And they've been going down further since. And then Trump came out at the G7's conference and said that, like, they had 4 weeks left.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah.
And
they're in about 7 million gallons a week from the strategic reserves.
I'm surprised because they keep saying that because Europe is the one who's going to really get fucked there, and they don't seem to care.
I mean, America is too. Like, it's like when one place runs out of oil, everyone's going to run to fill them up because they're going to charge the highest price for each barrel they're going to get. It becomes a sum zero game. And then as they rush oil to there, because remember, it takes time. It's not like I can send a ship from America to Europe in a day. It takes several weeks. Like, it's like, I think, a 31-day visit. No, it's a 45-day visit from the Middle East on a ship to America. And that's not even if they're trying to go through the Panama Canal, which has its own issues.
Right.
So, like, this is all interesting. A website I wanted to clue you on to is what's going on with shipping. It's by a former merchant mariner, and he covers all the shipping in the world, including what's happening with the Strait of Hormuz, and he's not politically involved with anyone. He just says the absolute facts, which is really interesting.
Oh, dude, I'm going to look this up. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah. What's going on with shipping?
That's great. Yeah, that's the kind of alpha that you can actually get from people that, like, people track this with satellites and all that. So
they track everything with the Strait of Hormuz as well. Everything else, like, I'm not. I want everyone, like, I know what I typed in the comments, and people think I'm one side or other. Like, I have never voted for anyone in a general election, Democrat or Republican, until maybe this election. So, I got that going for me. I voted in one primary. You got me there. But I have never been politically aligned either way. I am just telling you what I see are the facts. I am an accountant. I account for the debits and credits. I try to make sure all my information is correct because I have to relay this to my commander, and I cannot input any of what I think personally. So again, sometimes, yes, I will be, I don't really like what your takes are, but I generally try to focus my message on simply, these are the facts that I have collected from my information. Take them for what you will, and do what with you will.
This is pretty crazy, because I'm looking here. I think they burned through 97 million barrels from the SPR. Like, this is a DOE website. I found that they track it. Then smart. That's pretty wild, man. Wow.
Yeah. So, and this is the problem. The strategic reserves can't get below like 250, 200, because they were built in 1975. They were designed for 5 withdrawals in salt mines. And they've had 9 withdrawals right now. So each time we withdraw oil from them further, it's going to weaken the mines. And again, if they get below a certain amount, the lower structure of the salt mine will collapse. And so this is my thing I'm looking at. Like, I hope we're refilling these, because if we don't, it's going to get worse.
I'm gonna check out that channel, man. I appreciate that because it's hard to find people that actually are not exaggerating. This is the biggest issue with this kind of thing, that people will say, "Oh, oil's going to." What were they saying when the war started? They were saying $200 a barrel in a week, and I was like, I don't. I also think the Fed is playing in the market too. I think that they're manipulating the price of commodities in order to not induce panic. I think they're doing it with stocks too, because they did it during COVID, and people don't remember. They were literally buying. I remember through Blackstone or BlackRock. I can't remember which one, but I think it was BlackRock. They were buying literal Philip Morris bonds to keep the market afloat. And I was like, this is crazy. The Fed was telling them to do it. So, and with Besson in there, I'm sure that they're fucking buying oil futures to keep prices down. But who knows? I mean,
Yep. Like, I'm going to let you go. Like, I think I've hit my 10-minute mark. All I have to say is CCTV. I ain't Canadian, fucking bitch ass. I'm a United States citizen. I was born in Billings, Montana. I lived in Puyallup, Washington, and I live in San Antonio, Texas, as a a master sergeant in the United States Air Force at Joint Base San Antonio. So do go fuck yourself.
All right, sir. I appreciate you. CCTV, call it. All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, CCTV, call it. Show up, bitch.
All right. That was good, useful info. Okay, well, it's good to know. What do the Zionists want? I guess maybe I should look into that question to understand Ben Shapiro. Hang on. I'm going to ask, I believe you, Simosian. Hang on. Let me ask this too. Let me ask really quick. Hang on. I want to get confirmation. Does Ben Shapiro want America to nuke Iran and kill everyone? Oh, fuck, where'd it go? Hang on. Does Ben Shapiro want America to nuke Iran and kill everyone there? No, he does not want them. That is a massive exaggeration. Hang on. Target the regime and nuclear infrastructure, not so. But we already did this. Upgrading the conventional escalation dominance. Overwhelming convention, like targeted airstrikes, Tomahawk. Didn't we already do this? Why the nuke Iran rumors exist. He wants to nuke Iran since from hyperbolic internet memes or critics exaggerating his hawkish rhetoric. But we already did this, so how much more can we do this? Because then it seems like he wants to nuke them. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but how does it... If we already did this... Okay, there. All right. Speaking of, let's continue. All right. Yeah, let's finish this. That was a good break there. If anyone knows about Zionism, I guess call in, because I'd like confirmation on that.
Would we like a Republican Party that is essentially a horseshoe Democratic Party? I'm asking because that's kind of what the VP sounded like on Joe Rogan. I'm not sure what he's doing. Now listen, I want the Democrats to lose, not because I don't share their jersey, but because I do not share their fundamental principles. So I'm looking to support candidates who, number one, actually oppose Democratic policies, and two, can also win. So first, opposing Democratic policies.
We're doing small government socialism sucks in the big 2026. Dude, this is amazing. Just sensational.
Sensational.
Absolutely the best, dude. Just fucking... Excellent. I love it. Thank you so much. Listen, I just want to vote for Jeb Bush in the big 2028. Really, man? Really? That's... Oh my God, dude. Let's also check in here. I thought this would be funny to include. This is Ben Shapiro reading an ad straight after announcing Lindsey Graham's death. This is a little break from the...
Well, all the worst people are very, very excited about Lindsey Graham's death. All the worst people. But listen, whenever you talk about mortality or the passage of time, it's a big reminder that you don't have time to waste. I mean, that's just a reality. And we just had a baby. That means we are super duper busy. There's no time to waste. And that's also true when it comes to your business. We all have our own time-saving hacks for everyday life. If you're a business owner, how can you save time hiring?
No, dude. There's no way. There's no way he did. I actually hadn't watched it because I wanted to watch it live. I'm not paying. It's crazy, man. Wow. That's awesome. Wow. I bet he knew Lindsey Graham. Let's see. Did he meet Lindsey Graham ever? I bet he knew Lindsey Graham. Ben Shapiro meeting Lindsey Graham. Let's see. Let's see if there's pictures of them together. I bet they must have met. I mean, they both are like total hawks. I don't see it, but I mean, look, there's at least 1 degree separation because he knows Netanyahu and all that. BB. There's no way. One more time. Let's watch this one more time. Oh, look at this real quick. This is who's watching this show. I can't believe that anyone would watch a show that does something like this.
Well, all the worst people are very, very excited about Lindsey Graham's death. All the worst people. But listen, whenever you talk about mortality or the passage of time, it's a big reminder that you don't have time to waste. I mean, that's just a reality. And we just had a baby. That means we are super duper busy. There's no time to waste. And that's also true when it comes to your business. We all have our own time-saving hacks for everyday life. If you're a business owner, how can you save time hiring? ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter has a new feature that quickly lets, well, all the work.
There's no way he did that. That's crazy. Dude, I know we all have to make money, but what happened to Ben Shapiro, man?
What the fuck happened to you, man? Your ass used to be beautiful.
Well, let's see Ben Shapiro here. This is really going. Cover your ears. If you get homicidal thoughts towards yourself, like suicidal thoughts, like cover your ears, because this is about to get so stupid, man. This is about to get so stupid. Oh my God, man. And everything says Ben's got to get Abby to replace him. That's the only way to save the Daily Wire. At least there'd be something to look at, right? This is a weird look for the... I remember when Ben Shapiro had like this paper thing in the background or whatever. Now he looks like an evangelical minister. Like the soft palette colors. This isn't shot in RAW, obviously. That wouldn't make sense. But it is like very pastel colored. And this looks like an evangelical... It looks like you're turning into the 700 Club. But the boomers don't want this. So I don't get it.
Could just call out the lie. The system is not, in fact, rigged. And by the way, if we want to talk about rigged systems, probably if we're going to look for people who are rigging supposed free markets to their own benefit, we probably should be looking to the political class, which is constantly getting rich off of its own connections. But I don't see the vice president doing that too much. Here's the vice president yesterday with Joe Rogan.
Does the socialism thing scare me? Yes. Is it the wrong solution? Yes. But one thing I try to persuade my fellow Republicans of is socialism is the alternative if we don't have a pathway to give people a sense that the system is not rigged and that the American dream is attainable. That's like our job. That's what we have to do. I'm not saying Rome was built in a day. It's not going to be easy to undo some of these economic trends. But man, we ran the experiment. We ran the experiment of offshoring all of our industrial jobs, of becoming a services and finance economy and allowing Wall Street to come in and buy every asset of modern life and turn it into an investable, line goes up asset. And what has that done? It's created a generation of kids who kind of are attracted to socialism. You have to fix that problem.
I mean, let's be real about this. Young people in America have always been attracted to left-wing economic policy. That is not some sort of giant shock. When the vice president gives credence to all of the straw men and lies of the socialists, that America has offshored all of our jobs, not true. That America's services economy is some sort of gigantic failure, not true. That America's economy is some sort of rigged system in which no one can get ahead, not true. When you keep giving credence to that, and then you say, we, the government, we must step in and convince people the system is not rigged, I don't know how that sounds any different than Gavin Newsom.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
Dude, Marie Antoinette was a saint. At least she said, let them eat cake. She was thinking like, oh, they can eat cake. That's higher in calories than bread. It has frosting or whatever. This is insufferable. Like on every point. When JD came on, that's when I started to spiral. But let them eat GDP. Is this what we're doing now? This is what J-Boss believes, by the way. He actually does believe this shit. This is libertarianism. Straight up, this is what J-Boss thinks. J-Boss believes that nothing is rigged. Dude, I swear, man, this guy must love Ben Shapiro. Like, there's no way. There's no way he doesn't. Capitalism. I love capitalism. This is the Dave Smith show. The only difference is that Dave Smith doesn't like Israel. That's the only difference. Oh my God. Let's watch this here. I'm going to talk to the bot after this.
Would we like a Republican Party that is essentially a horseshoe Democratic Party? I'm asking because that's kind of what the VP sounded like on Joe Rogan. I'm not sure what he's doing. Now listen, I want the Democrats to lose. Not because I don't share their jersey, but because I do not share their fundamental.
No, we already heard that. Thank you. We can skip that. Thank you. I don't want to hear that. Thank you. Now, I hate this so much, man. I really do. I'm not trying to be a baby here. Because I wanted to show you what Tucker has to say about him. When we get to Tucker, it'll be interesting. This is what Ben Shapiro had to say about Tucker.
So here's the thing. I hope Tucker launches a third.
Oh my God, that voice is terrible. It's just so bad, man. It's so bad. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is so bad, man.
Party. Why? Because it'll get crushed. Third parties get crushed. I would love to see a clean referendum on Tucker's perverse views, but he's not going to do that. That's not actually the game. Here's the game. Tucker knows, Tucker sees that Republicans are probably going to have a bad 26. What he wants is to say that the reason that Republicans had a bad 26 is because they alienated key people like him. And thus, if you wish to win in 28, you need to shift the entire policy-making direction of the party back in Tucker Carlson's direction. Tucker is not launching the Reform Party. Tucker is launching the DSA, or the TSA, the Tucker Socialists of America. His goal is for Republicans to lose in 2026. He wants, he's not hiding the ball here. He has said he's not voting Republican. He wants Republicans to lose. He is here to demoralize.
Did you guys? I'm stopping it. That's it. Did you guys learn anything? I took the headphones off. So I'm gonna read the caption. I'm not listening to that. Ben Shapiro claims that Tucker Carlson wants Republicans to lose in 2026 so he can pull the Republican Party over to his pro-Putin, pro-China, pro-Iran socialist ideology. Excellent. All right, thank you, Ben. Oh my God, no, we're not doing that. So here's Tucker. Whew. I will listen to Tucker any day of the week now. Tucker, let's listen to Tucker. The gay Mickey Mouse voice. I love it. This is Tucker talking about Ben Shapiro, and I actually like this. This is funny.
Economy is part of that. So like the richest people are always going to have the most influence. So who does your economic system reward? Who gets richest? And I just noticed, with some exceptions, but very few, the people who get the richest in our society are people who didn't create anything at all. They're usually rent seekers or just parasites on other people's activity. And they certainly haven't done anything demonstrable to improve the civilization. So that's just an inherent flaw. And we can't get better until we fix that. Can't live in a country where Bill Ackman, who makes billions betting against productive companies, short selling, that guy makes billions of dollars. It's not even against Bill Ackman, but like someone with a kind of mediocre intelligence.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave? He's completely right. Bill Ackman is a fucking idiot. I promise you he is. The only reason Bill Ackman is rich is because he went to Harvard. And while he was at Harvard, he made friends with rich people who gave him money for his hedge fund. And his hedge fund is not creative. They're not doing anything interesting. Their returns are not impressive. He is not dude, Tucker, I give him shit. He's completely right about this. Just as he was right to question, and he's going to do it here again. I was very happy years ago when Tucker was still on Fox. He did a whole episode. How did Chris Cuomo get into Yale? That was a great episode of Tucker Carlson. He nails some of these people, and I think it's because he knows them. Bill Ackman is not talented or intelligent. I completely agree with Tucker. Thank you for saying it. You are amazing. And everything says Ben said he really loves his sister. I hope you enjoyed that.
No creativity, who's got predatory instincts and no shame. If that guy winds up making billions, you need to start over. And I don't care what you call it. Oh, you're a socialist. Well, okay, I don't care what you call it. But whatever, it doesn't matter what you call it. This is not a religion. It's an economic system. And what's its point? Its point is not to make Ben Shapiro richer. By the way, Ben Shapiro got into Harvard somehow. A world in which Ben Shapiro, who's not that bright, obviously, gets into Harvard, you just know that the system's not working. Like the whole.
I trust Tucker on this because Tucker is a great magician. We know that. Okay. He's a wizard. He's very good at it. I trust his assessment of Ben Shapiro. I have trouble understanding because Ben Shapiro went to Harvard to study law and he became an attorney. But it doesn't seem like he practiced much. So even if we want to disagree with Tucker, do we have any evidence that Ben Shapiro is smart? Because I don't think we do. Ben Shapiro, he's had a silver spoon in his mouth his whole life. His cousin was in Matilda. His parents pushed him through to like the best schools. He went to Harvard at like the age of 16, started getting published by some fucking dumbass rightoid writing stupid books, right? And then he just started a podcast and obviously had Hollywood friends behind him. I don't see any marker of intelligence. I see not even manipulation, actually. It's just he was just being guided by other people, you know?
Promise is meritocracy. It's not meritocracy when Ben Shapiro gets into Harvard. Okay, period. It's something else. So, but that's also true for economic system. It's like if the result of the economic system is to make the most aggressive, most dishonest people the richest, why would you want that? And he knows it. I mean, Ben's not bright, but he's not that stupid. And he knows that the point of this is not to hew to some principle of free market economics. The point is to like enrich Ben Shapiro and the people who he likes. And okay, but I don't have to go along with that. And you can compare me to Hugo Chavez all you want, or say I'm a communist or whatever. I just don't care anymore. Just like I don't care about any of these. You're an anti-Semite. No, I'm not. You're a left winger. No, I'm not. I don't care. I just want outcomes that preserve human decency and that keep a really good system, which long precedes Ben Shapiro or his family's arrival here, long precedes by hundreds of years, that keeps that intact. Like that's all I want. And I don't think that's too much to ask. And I don't know why I'd ever want to take lectures from, by the way, Ben Shapiro, who's like Mr. Capitalist guy, couldn't even keep his own company afloat. He's like a bad capitalist.
Right.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Very good for Tucker. Good for Tucker to say that. I have to say that, and I'm not saying it in a way to, I'm not doing disclaimers. You're right. Whatever. That was a little bit, he's got that was a little bit, it could be spun in some ways, you know, what Tucker said there. Where's the clip here?
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
Oh, his family wasn't here with my family. Okay. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy to hear. I haven't heard something like that from Tucker. I don't know what motivates this guy, man. I really don't. There's no way this is the same Tucker Carlson as before. All right, then whatever. That's enough. All right. I don't want to watch Obama. Okay, cool. Is Bill Maher on tonight? That was the worst thing I've had to get through in a long time, man. Bill Maher on tonight. The show is over, man. I'm sorry. That was really bad. We did the 2 hours. I'm very happy. How are you guys doing? No, there's no episode tonight. Okay. God, that was terrible. Jesus Christ. It's not even, I don't know if it was more tolerable to me in the past. When I was a teenager, I remember Ben Shapiro was popular and, you know, you'd see some of the videos. I can't listen to this man anymore. I can't. He is insufferable. And JD Vance is already insufferable enough. He is insufferable. All he does is complain and talk so fast. And what's the matter? Did your balls not drop? To be honest, I don't even remember the subject we were addressing. I guess it doesn't matter. Did we learn anything? Let's get that one. Did we learn anything?
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't fucking know either. I guess we learned not to do it again.
Yes, sir.
I'm fucked if I know what we did.
I'm not doing any more, unless there's a gun to my head. We're not doing Ben Shapiro stories. I can't listen to that voice. I can't. It's so bad. It is so bad. And I don't think it's a venue thing because it's bad everywhere. It's just crying. And JD's just insufferable. It's just terrible. He says, don't work so hard. How do you produce so much content, dude? Take my vitamins, man. Take my vitamins. No, but I've slowed down a little bit on this channel, unfortunately, because I've focused a lot on Alex. And as you guys know, that's one thing that helps a lot. And it's unfortunate for you guys, and I'm sorry, and I try to get back. I'm not a very active, like, texter or email guy. I owe J-Boss an email. I owe Eves a Facebook message. I owe Neptune a Facebook message. I don't owe Robert an email. I emailed him. I owe Ringo Lamb a telegram. I owe Bruno a Patreon message. And I'm sorry about that, but I really am not good at that kind of communication. I prefer to be in person or actually to do voice memos. Voice memos is the easiest for me. But I know everyone hates it and they're like, oh, you're a third worlder or whatever. Like, you third worlders like to do that. But I literally hate the typing out shit. I hate it. I have a telegram. I don't know how this works. Does anyone want a telegram? Yeah, but it's a Facebook message for Alex, says CCTV. Simosian said, no, I owe Simosian probably in the Discord. The Discord's the one I really neglect. I probably owe you there, which I'll check. I owe Robbie in the Discord too. Fuck, man. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to catch up with all that. That is what kind of keeps me going is that and that's not just you guys. I don't respond to people at all. I'm very bad at it. I have a friend that I've been friends with him for like 10 years. He left me a voicemail 2 weeks ago just asking what's up. I haven't replied to him. I'm just so bad at it. I'm really bad at it. And it's not that I think less of you or anything. I just hate the phone. I hate the phone. I hate it. I hate it. J-Boss, no problem. I'll take my time, man. I'm starting. I hate everything says Mr. WhatsApp over here, dude. I don't have WhatsApp. Well, I do have WhatsApp, but not for this. And I don't really use it. WhatsApp is for like family group chats, and I fucking hate them. Eve says, all right, if you don't mind that, then I might do that. But if there's anyone on Telegram, and I think we can do this for the call-ins too. 1 second. Let me pull this up. I think this is useful. I don't like Telegram. I prefer Signal, personally. But, whatever. Telegram is better for sending videos and stuff, so I do use it for that. Let me scan in here so I can give you the Telegram. If anyone likes Telegram. How do I... Oh, I have to scan it. Hang on. Scan the QR code. No, don't share it. Scan the QR code. Hello? It's fucking retarded, man. Everything is stupid tonight. Okay. How do I log into this? I need to scan you the QR code. Can you scan? Anyway. Yeah, I hate everything. I agree, man. I fucking hate WhatsApp. I don't want to talk to... Oh, how's your life in Colombia, cousin? Oh, it's great. Really? Yeah, I only got robbed twice today. Can't wait to go back to Venezuela. What is the point of that? What is the point of that? I don't get how I'm supposed to do this. Anyway, the Telegram is at King Leo Miami 123. You want to join me on Telegram, you can go on there if that works for you. There's a phone number attached. I'd give it to you. I really don't give a shit, but I don't know the thumb. That's Telegram. Okay, the Telegram is that. If anyone wants to get on the Telegram, there's a Telegram. Just message me on Telegram. It says scan QR code. Let me hit login using phone number. Maybe that'll work. 1 second. I actually don't hate Telegram. Oh, I'm in. Cool. Oh, yeah. Rango's here. Very cool. Yeah. So if you want to join this Telegram, you see this. How do I invite people? Can I invite people? Yeah, I know that they use WhatsApp in Europe, man. I don't mind WhatsApping my European friends. I know this sounds a little bit fucked up or something, but I do mind WhatsApping Latin Americans because I'm not being mean or anything. I'm just saying, like, with my European friends, we talk about, like, the first world. I don't want to. What are we going to talk about with my cousin? My cousin is fighting for bread in the bread line. Amazing. I don't want to talk about that, Anyway. All right. Yeah, so the Telegram is here. It's at King Leo Miami 123. Let me just Okay, just join me on Telegram let me use the snipping tool. Dude, I get in such a bad mood talking about JD Vance. I really do. I think we might have to skip JD Vance in the future, man. I can't do it. Can't do it. Let me see this here. No. Downloads. Save that. Let me put this up here. Can I open this in Brave? Please let me open it in Brave. Please. I hate. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's the Telegram. So feel free to go there. J-Boss says, is a Telegram for voice messages? I don't know, but I might get it if it is. They do everything. Telegram's pretty good. I like Telegram. What is this? I like it. It's very good for transferring video and stuff like that. This is the Telegram if you want to get on there. Eve says, is Telegram a good app then, sir? I don't like Discord. Never mind. It's okay. It's more of a personal messaging app. I know people make Telegram channels, but I wouldn't do that. I just, maybe in the future, but I like it more than Discord. The UI is better. But Signal's my messaging app, really. But here's the Telegram. If you guys want to join me on Telegram. Or just fucking write to Telegram. And we can even do call-ins from Telegram. Why not? We'll do it from there too. So if you want to get in there, get in the Telegram. The UI is really nice. I will say that. The UI is good. I got to give it to... Telegram is Russian, right? It's like a VK or whatever. All right. Let's get the fuck out of here. All right. All right. I agree, Iron Hammer. I agree. Depop, eBay, absolutely. How you doing, man? How's Boston? J-Boss says, sorry for the millennial question. Is Telegram a phone app or desktop app? J-Boss, what Harry Potter house are you, bro? Since you're a millennial. Are there any millennials in here? Are there millennials in here? What are you a Hufflepuff? Are you a Hufflepuff? Are you Are you a Hufflepuff? Are you Gryffindor? Are you Slytherin? Do you want to take... Why don't we take a BuzzFeed test? Hang on, let's do that real quick. Let's do a BuzzFeed test. Let's do a BuzzFeed test. Let's Millennial Max here. Whatever. This is good to clean the palate. BuzzFeed Harry Potter house test. Let's do this. Let's do this here. Harry Potter house quiz. Which Hogwarts house? Dude, millennials are so cringe, man. This is crazy. You've made it to Hogwarts. Yo, you guys are so cringe. Which means you've already bought a wand from Ollivanders. What material is at its core? What is this? I didn't even watch these movies. During the end of year exams, you noticed that one of your classmates was using an enchanted quill. You come top of the class anyway, but they are second. What do? Give them a high five for managing to stick, because we're evil. You would be most heard of a person called you weak, ignorant, unkind, or boring. Weak. When you're locked in a duel with a skilled opponent, they fire an unknown spell at you, and you shout, stupefy. How long is this? Dude, yo, millennials, you guys really had nothing to do. How long is this? I'm not doing this. Well, no, we can do this. Let me do this. All right. No, we're not doing this. Damn, dude. Millennial culture was crazy. All right. Anyway. What was the question? Is Telegram a phone app or it's both? You can do it on the desktop and on the phone. I have it here on the desktop open right now. Signal too. Signal is desktop and phone. And everything is how could hate successful white man who grew up in hillbilly trash? How could you hate a successful white man who grew up in hillbilly I don't. I feel like James Fishback, right? JD Vance's ass is from the ghetto, and I want him to go back to the ghetto. I don't want him outside of the ghetto. I don't do Harry Potter nor any fiction. No, you guys love Harry Potter, bro. You're not gonna front with that. I know that you were, dude. You're from Porto, right? Isn't that where literally they do? Isn't that where Harry Potter was written? And I know that you stop lying, dude. Like That's the thing with millennials. They don't want to admit it. I know that you like Harry Potter. It's okay. I know they wrote it in Portugal, bro. Like, I've been to the library in Portugal, the Libreria, the bookstore, right, where she used to hang out, J.K. Rowling. I've seen the people in Porto who wear the cloaks. You know, I know that Portuguese people love Harry Potter, man. I'm pretty sure. Do Portuguese people love Harry Potter? Let's look this up. They definitely love Harry Potter. Yeah, they have a deep affinity for Harry Potter, largely because, yeah, I told you. Really quick, hang on, let me show that. Let's do a show and tell here, and then we'll get out of here. 1 second. Yeah, you do love Harry Potter, man. You do. Anyway, look at this. I got this in Lisbon. This is Camoes. This is made out of aluminum foil. Isn't that crazy? I don't think there's a core in here. I think they literally made it out of aluminum foil. That's pretty wild. I got this in a Lenin poster in Lisbon. It's crazy. Yeah, Portuguese love Harry Potter. Absolutely. All right, let's get out of here. I appreciate everyone. I appreciate Samojan for the super chat. Let's do the. I recognize that face from a mile away. Very cool, dude. Isn't this? This was just some guy selling it. I wish I had one of Cervantes, but it's very cool. I didn't read the book, but I went to that place. I didn't read his poems, but I went to that place, the edge of the earth, the westernmost point of Portugal, and they have part of his poem there where they thought it was the end of the world in his time. Very cool. Very cool. Man, I'd love to go back, but I have such pleasant memories that I don't want to. And I regret it already because I went, not that, but because when I was a kid, the world was still real. It was never real, right? But it was more real than, like, dude, you could go to a different country and they would have different things, right? So, oh, shit. Simone, thank you, sir. Very generous. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much, man. That was a very enjoyable call too, man. You're a very knowledgeable guy, and I want to encourage you to keep commenting, and also say stuff in the Discord and everything, because I'm not like I'm not mining you guys for content, but I do use your perspectives to understand things better, because some of you guys have a better memory. But yeah, when I was a kid, things were different in different countries, right? You could go to South Korea or something and it was different. Now you go to Saudi Arabia and they have AMC theaters and shit. You know what I mean? And I went back to Toronto, which I hadn't been to in like 15 years last year. And it sucks now. And before I went, I was like, should I go back to Toronto? I have such pleasant memories of Toronto. And I went back. And it's not because you're older. It's because it sucks now. It's because it actually does suck now. Okay? Went there and I was like, oh, there's homeless people everywhere. It wasn't like that when I was a kid. It feels slightly dangerous, actually. So I don't want to go back to Portugal for that same reason, because I have such pleasant memories and I know it's going to suck. I know it's going to suck. It's going to be full of Americans. And it's not going to be cool, and it's going to be way more expensive than it was. I can't buy batatas and sardinas or anything. So it sucks. I lived in Toronto. I don't know how you did that, man. I fucking hate Toronto. I liked it as a kid. Yeah, dude, this is where I went. You're right. This is Finisterre. I went to this thing here. Hang on. This place here. I'm pretty sure it was this. Pretty sure. Yeah, it was this. It was this thing. It was right here. I went here. Very cool. But that was like 15 years ago, man. I don't like to travel anymore because there's no point to traveling in my view, but whatever. Can't believe he did that. Because my uncle was in Quebec his whole life. I never got along with the Anglo-Canadians. I like the French Canadians. The Anglo-Canadians. All right, let's get out of here. It's 12:45. All right. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate once again Samojan for the gifted memberships. I appreciate you guys. And for anyone watching the replay, let's do a troll for anyone watching the replay. We're going to pretend that it cut here. But I I shouldn't say that. Yeah, and that's when Ben Shapiro slipped on that banana peel. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. See you guys then.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. Change the world.